In the arena of American politics, few topics ignite passions like the contentious issue of judges versus politicians. Critics argue that these roles are inherently incompatible. Supporters counter that it's possible to have judges who are also politicians. However, what if the line between the two roles isn't as clear as we think? What if being a judge requires qualities that are at odds with those needed to be a successful politician? Today, we want to address this question and many more as we unpack the ethics of judicial appointments in the United States. So buckle up and join us as we explore this intricate balance between legal integrity and political expediency. Before we delve into the complex world of judicial appointments, let's examine the crux of the matter. Should we have judges who are politicians, or should we have judges who are jurists? Each perspective brings unique challenges and trade-offs. To better understand this debate, we must first define our terms. What do we mean by judge and by politician? Being a judge goes beyond donning a black robe and presiding over court proceedings. It entails upholding the law impartially, ensuring justice is served, and protecting the rights of all parties involved. Judges are expected to be neutral, unbiased arbiters, making decisions solely on the basis of the evidence and the law. On the other hand, being a politician involves navigating the complexities of governance, making decisions that often have far-reaching implications, and representing the interests of constituents. Politicians operate in a realm where compromise is often necessary and public perception plays a significant role. So the real question then becomes, can an individual effectively embody both roles? Can someone be a judge, maintaining impartiality and upholding the law, while also being a politician, engaging in the give and take of governance and public representation? Or are these two roles fundamentally incompatible, requiring different skill sets, values, and priorities? When we start asking these questions, one thing becomes abundantly clear. This is not a new debate. It's one that has been raging in legal and political circles for centuries. Think of legendary figures like Oliver Wendell Holmes, JRB, whose judicial philosophy was deeply influenced by his experiences as a Civil War soldier, or Louis Brandeis, whose early career as a politician shaped his approach to law. Their lives and rulings serve as a testament to the lasting impact of one's background and experiences on their professional life. The implications of this are profound. If judges are in fact shaped by their past, then the question of whether they should be politicians takes on a whole new dimension. Does a judge's political experience enrich their understanding of the law, or does it pose a constant threat to their impartiality? As we continue this conversation, we will explore these questions further, examining how a judge's background, motivations, and decision-making processes are intertwined in a complex web of ethics and integrity. But before we proceed, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue to produce insightful content on important topics like this one. Now let's return to our discussion about the qualifications of judges. A common concern regarding judges who are also politicians is that their primary motivation might shift from serving justice to serving political interests. This could lead to decisions that are based more on public perception and political expediency than on legal principles and justice. But is this a valid concern, or is it merely a theoretical possibility? To unpack this issue, consider the context in which judges make their decisions. In most democratic societies, judges are appointed to lifetime positions, providing them with a level of job security that is relatively rare in the political arena. This security allows judges to rule independently without fear of losing their position due to unpopular decisions. However, when a judge is also a politician, there exists the potential for political pressures to influence their rulings. This could come in various forms, such as pressure from constituents, party leaders, or even other judges who might be facing re-election. Imagine, for example, a judge who presides over a highly publicized case involving controversial issues like civil rights or religious freedom. In such a scenario, the judge's decision could have significant political ramifications, potentially affecting the outcome of local elections or influencing the national political discourse. If this judge also happens to be a politician, the decision they make could be swayed by the desire to maintain their political career rather than solely by the principles of justice and the law. Moreover, consider the appointment process itself. When a sitting president nominates a candidate for the judiciary, they typically seek individuals who align with the president's political ideology. This is done to ensure that the president's judicial appointments contribute to the overall political agenda. While this practice is common, it also raises concerns. By appointing ideologically aligned judges, there is a risk of compromising the neutrality and fairness of the judiciary. This concern is not unfounded. Several studies have examined the issue of judicial partisanship, finding that judges' political affiliations do, in fact, influence their decisions. For instance, a study published in the American Political Science Review found that federal district court judges who were appointed by Democratic presidents were more likely to rule in favor of the plaintiffs in civil rights cases, while those appointed by Republican presidents were more likely to rule in favor of the defendants. Similarly, a study published in the Journal of Empirical Legal Studies found that judges who were appointed by presidents of the same political party as the plaintiff were more likely to rule in favor of the plaintiff in environmental cases. These findings suggest that the political leanings of judges do play a role in their decision-making process, which raises concerns about the politicization of the judiciary and the potential for partisan bias. Despite these concerns, it is important to note that the vast majority of judges strive to uphold the law impartially regardless of any political pressures. They are dedicated jurists who take their responsibility to uphold justice very seriously. However, the mere possibility that political pressures could compromise the integrity of the judiciary raises important questions about the nature of judicial appointments and the importance of maintaining the independence and impartiality of the legal system. Now let's turn our attention to another critical aspect of this debate: the qualifications of judges. Should we have judges who are politicians or judges who are jurists? There is a common perception that being a politician automatically disqualifies someone from being a good judge. However, this perspective overlooks the valuable skills and experiences that politicians bring to the judiciary. Politicians are often adept at navigating complex situations, making difficult decisions, and considering the broader societal impacts of their choices. These are all qualities that are relevant in the role of a judge. Furthermore, politicians typically have a deep understanding of the legislative process, which is crucial when interpreting and applying laws. They know how laws are made, what the intentions behind certain laws are, and how these laws interact with each other. This knowledge is invaluable in judicial proceedings where judges must interpret and apply the law to specific cases. Take, for example, a case involving the First Amendment rights of protesters. A judge with experience in legislation would have a better understanding of the historical context, the debates, and the intended scope of the First Amendment, leading to more informed and nuanced decision-making. However, despite these potential benefits, there is a valid concern that having judges who are politicians could lead to a judiciary that is too closely tied to the political sphere. This could result in judges who prioritize political expediency over legal principles, potentially undermining the impartiality and independence of the judiciary. Moreover, the public perception that judges are simply politicians in robes could erode public trust in the legal system. Ultimately, the question of whether a person's political experience qualifies them to be a judge or disqualifies them depends on a variety of factors, including the specific laws and norms of the country in question, the nature of the political experience, and the character and integrity of the individual. In conclusion, the debate surrounding judges versus politicians highlights the complexities of balancing political realities with legal ideals. While the concept of judges who are pure jurists, unblemished by political considerations, is appealing, it is ultimately unrealistic. Judges, like all humans, are products of their experiences, backgrounds, and motivations, and these factors inevitably include political influences. Rather than seeking judges who are completely devoid of political influence, the focus should be on ensuring that these influences do not compromise the integrity, neutrality, and fairness of the judiciary. This requires careful consideration during the appointment process, robust systems of judicial accountability, and an ongoing commitment to upholding the rule of law. What are your thoughts on this topic? Do you think we should have judges who are politicians or judges who are jurists? Share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking discussions on law and society. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might be interested in this topic. As always, thanks for watching.